Welcome to The Explainer. You hear it everywhere. AI is promising to transform, well, pretty much every industry, and real estate is absolutely no exception. But, beyond all the hype, what's actually happening on the ground? Today, we're going to break down how AI is really changing the business of buying and selling homes.
All right, so let's just dive right in and ask the big question that's on everyone's mind. With all these powerful new tools popping up all the time, is the human real estate agent on the verge of becoming obsolete?
Well, if you ask the experts, the people actually doing the work, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. I love this quote from agent Ryan Fitzgerald because it gets right to the point. Technology still has some very, very human limitations. It can't sense tension, it can't calm down a nervous first-time buyer, and it definitely can't navigate the complex emotions that come with one of the biggest purchases of your life. So to get the full picture, we're going to explore this whole thing through 5 key areas. We'll look at how AI is acting as an assistant, not a replacement. The way it's really raising the bar for what good service looks like, the rise of the AI-empowered consumer, the challenge of tool overload, which is a big one, and finally, why the human core of this business is actually more important than ever. Okay, first up, let's establish what agents on the ground are saying. And the feeling is pretty much universal. AI is here to help, not to take over. It's a powerful assistant, for sure, but in what is still a fundamentally human-centric business. Now, what's really interesting here is how cleanly you can divide up the labor. The consensus is that AI totally excels at the operational stuff, analyzing market data, drafting marketing copy, streamlining all those tedious workflows. And what that does is free up agents to focus on their irreplaceable role, building trust, exercising real judgment, and navigating the emotional roller coaster of a real estate deal. And this is just so crucial. Like Fitzgerald says, when a buyer is choosing between 2 homes that look almost identical on paper, the final decision rarely comes down to the numbers. It's about a feeling, it's about picturing a future, it's about their life. And that's a conversation a machine just can't have. And you see this become even more true at the high end of the market. Luxury agent Lethem Jenkins points out that while AI helps him prepare and execute with way more precision, the emotional and experiential journey of buying, say, a multi-million-dollar home, that remains entirely human-led. So if AI isn't a replacement, what is its big impact? Well, it's fundamentally changing the standards for the entire industry. It is absolutely raising the bar for what it even means to be a good agent. Think about it. Things that used to make an agent stand out are quickly just becoming the baseline expectation. Agents can now use AI to create stunning marketing materials in minutes, provide much deeper data analysis for their clients, and make sure every response is quick and professional. It's pushing the whole industry to be more consultative and more data-driven. And this is creating a really clear divide. The message from pros like Ryan Fitzgerald is pretty blunt. Those who adapt and integrate these tools are going to thrive, and they'll be operating at a completely new level. And those who don't, they're simply going to get left behind. And what experts are saying is that this trend could actually speed up an industry shakeout that was probably already happening anyway. Experienced agents with deep community ties and strong relationships, they're not worried. But for agents who maybe only do a few deals a year and don't have a clear value proposition, well, they might find it incredibly difficult to compete against these new AI-powered professionals.
Okay, but this shift isn't just affecting agents. It's also profoundly changing how we, the consumers, approach buying and selling a home.
The whole consumer journey has a brand new starting point. Before ever talking to a human being, buyers are asking tools like ChatGPT for agent recommendations, they're researching neighborhoods, and they're getting AI-powered estimates on home values. They are showing up to that first meeting more informed than ever before. But here's the catch. This empowerment comes with some new risks. Agents are reporting that a lot of these AI home value estimators their clients are using can be wildly inaccurate. They end up setting really unrealistic expectations, especially for a unique house or in a market that's changing fast. And on the marketing side, there's this new pitfall. Some agents are finding that AI-generated stuff like listing photos or descriptions can fall into what's called the uncanny valley. The content looks polished, but something just feels a little off. And modern consumers are getting really good at spotting that kind of inauthenticity. And this leads to a huge challenge for agents today. The problem isn't a lack of AI tools, it's an absolute explosion of them. It's making it really hard to separate the truly useful signal from all of the overwhelming noise. Yeah, just look at this. New tools are popping up constantly, but the clarity on their return on investment, it's low. And their long-term survival rate is even lower. Agents are telling us that every single week brings another game-changing product, but a lot of those same products are just gone within 6 months. So, how are the successful agents dealing with this? Well, they're developing smart strategies. We're seeing a couple of approaches. Some, like Alexi Mergado, dedicate just 15 minutes a day to testing tools that solve a very specific, real-world problem. Others, like Eric Lalande, are moving much more cautiously because they know that just one bad tech experience can totally damage a hard-won client relationship. Okay, let's zoom out for a second and really try to understand the long-term vision for AI in this field, because it's about so much more than just a few new apps. Experienced brokers are being really clear about this. They do not see AI as just another tool in the toolbox, the way social media or SEO was a decade ago. No, they see it as a fundamental, categorical pivot, a true structural shift in how the entire industry operates. And this quote from Latham Jenkins just nails it. He predicts that the routine, transactional parts of the business, the paperwork, the scheduling, that's all going to become more and more automated. And as that happens, the value of a human agent acting as a high-level, trusted advisor, it doesn't just stay the same, it actually increases. So, at the end of the day, the true backbone of the real estate business remains firmly in the human domain. We're talking about deep local knowledge, strong personal relationships, access to the community, and high-level strategic advice. Technology can definitely enhance all these things, but it can't replace them. And this leaves us with a final thought, one that really applies not just to real estate, but to a whole lot of professions. As technology continues to automate the transactional, operational parts of our work, will genuine human connection and expert guidance become the ultimate, most valuable luxury good of all?